Have you ever wondered what truly hurts a woman the most when she doesn't value you? It's not your anger, it's not your silence, and it's not even your absence. It's something deeper, something tied to the very core of human nature and Stoic philosophy. Before we begin, make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit that like button. It helps more men discover these timeless lessons, and I ask you stay with me until the very end, because what we're about to explore can completely change the way you handle love, relationships, and your own sense of worth. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself and your way of thinking." Now, what does that mean for you when dealing with a woman who doesn't value you? It means that your power, your peace, doesn't come from her approval. It doesn't come from her recognition. It comes from how you carry yourself, how you respond, and how you guard your self-respect. And here's the truth. When a woman doesn't value you, what hurts her the most isn't when you fight back or try to prove yourself. It's when you live by the principles of self-mastery that Marcus Aurelius taught. So today, let's go through 10 Stoic suggestions, based on Marcus Aurelius' wisdom, that explain exactly what hurts her the most when she doesn't value you. Part: withdraw the value she took for granted. Have you ever given your whole heart to someone, only to feel like they didn't even notice? Think back for a moment. Maybe it was that late night when you stayed up just to hear her voice, or the time you skipped hanging out with your friends, just so you could be there when she needed you. You thought she'd appreciate it, right? You thought she'd see the depth of your love. But here's the painful truth. The more you gave, the less she seemed to care. Why does that happen? Why is it that when we make someone the center of our world, they begin to act as if we are invisible? Marcus Aurelius once said, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." And if your every thought is dyed with her, she will eventually take you for granted. Not because she's evil, but because it's human nature. What's always available loses its shine. Think about it like this. When you first started talking, every text from you felt like a gift. Every call, every gesture carried weight. But as time passed, she got used to it. She expected it. It stopped being special. And suddenly, you became predictable. That's why the most powerful thing you can do when a woman doesn't value you is to withdraw the value she has taken for granted. Not by disappearing completely, not by playing childish games, but by simply pulling back your energy, your focus, your presence. Instead of always being the first to text, let her wonder where you are. Instead of constantly offering help, let her face her own challenges. Instead of rearranging your entire life around her, start prioritizing your growth, your friends, your passions. Here's what happens. When she no longer feels the constant supply of attention, she begins to notice the emptiness, the silence, the missing energy. And that's when she realizes just how much you were giving. So ask yourself this. Who in your life have you been giving too much to? Who has grown comfortable, forgetting that your love is a rare gift? And more importantly, are you ready to reclaim your value by pulling back and letting her feel the weight of your absence? Because sometimes the greatest reminder of your worth is your silence. Toward to master silence. Have you ever been in an argument where you poured your heart out, explained everything, defended yourself, maybe even begged her to understand, and yet she still looked at you with cold eyes as if nothing you said mattered? That's one of the most painful experiences in love, when your words lose their power. You talk, but she doesn't hear. You explain, but she doesn't care. And the more you try to prove yourself, the more you look like the weaker one in her eyes. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The best revenge is not to be like your enemy." And here's the truth. When she doesn't value you, the loudest message isn't spoken through words, it's delivered through silence. Let me tell you a story many men can relate to. Imagine this, you notice she's pulling away. She doesn't text like she used to. She takes hours, sometimes days, to respond. When you ask if something's wrong, she says, "No, I'm just busy." But deep down, you can feel the distance. So what do? Most men chase harder. They call more, text more, ask more questions. But that only pushes her further away. Because chasing communicates one thing. You need her more than she needs you. Now picture the opposite. Instead of chasing, you go quiet. You don't explain. You don't beg. You don't send those long emotional texts. You master silence. At first, she might not notice. But over time, she feels it. The absence of your voice, your constant attention, your validation. And that silence begins to echo. It makes her wonder, why isn't he trying anymore? Did he move on? Has he changed? Did I lose him? You see, silence flips the dynamic. Where your words once fell on deaf ears, your silence suddenly commands her attention. It forces her to sit with her own thoughts. So here's the real question. Are you willing to master silence not as a game, but as a discipline? To stop explaining yourself where no explanation is valued? To let your calmness speak louder than arguments ever could? Because when you stop talking, stop proving, stop begging, she finally starts listening. Live as though she doesn't exist. Have you ever been in that place where she became the center of your entire world? Where every plan, every decision, every dream somehow revolved around her? You woke up thinking about her. You checked your phone hoping for her message. Even your happiness depended on how she treated you that day. If she smiled at you, your whole day felt bright. If she ignored you, your heart sank. And slowly, without even realizing it, you stopped living for yourself and started living through her. Marcus Aurelius warned us about this kind of dependence. He said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." What does that mean in love? It means your life should never orbit around someone who doesn't value you. Because the moment you make her your sun, you'll find yourself stuck in her shadow. Now imagine flipping the script. Imagine living as though she doesn't exist. Not in a hateful way, not in bitterness, but in freedom. Picture this: instead of waiting for her texts, you're busy in the gym, transforming your body. Instead of sitting at home wondering why she hasn't called, you're out with your friends, laughing, enjoying the moment. Instead of drowning in questions like, does she still love me? You're too busy chasing your goals, building your career, exploring your passions. And here's the irony: when she sees you living fully, as if she's no longer the center of your universe, that's when the reality hits her. She thought you'd crumble without her. She thought you'd chase, beg, or wait forever. But instead you thrived. Living as though she doesn't exist doesn't mean you erase the memories or pretend the past never happened. It means you choose yourself again. You become the main character of your story, not a side character in hers. So let me ask you, are you still living in her shadow, or are you ready to reclaim your light? Because the moment you stop orbiting around her is the moment she realizes just how bright you can shine on your own. 4. Replace need with choice. Have you ever felt like you needed her? Not just wanted, but needed. Like without her, life wouldn't make sense? Think back to those moments. Maybe you checked your phone every 5 minutes, desperate for her reply. Maybe you rearranged your plans just to see her for a short while. Maybe you ignored your own needs just to keep her happy. And every time she pulled away, your heart panicked, as if you were about to lose your oxygen. That feeling, that desperate need, is what makes so many men weak in love. Because need says, without you, I am incomplete. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself and your way of thinking." What he meant is this: happiness doesn't come from others. It comes from within. And once you understand this, you stop needing her and instead you start choosing. Let me paint a picture. Imagine 2 men. The first man lives in need. He constantly tries to please her. If she's upset, he's upset. If she ignores him, he feels worthless. He is chained to her moods, her decisions, her validation. The second man lives in choice. He loves her, yes. He values her presence, but he doesn't need her to feel whole. If she stays, it's beautiful. If she leaves, he still has his dignity, his peace, his purpose. His happiness is not in her hands, it's in his own. Which man do you think she respects more? Here's the paradox. The less you need her, the more she feels drawn to you. Why? Because choice is powerful. When you choose her, not out of desperation, but from a place of strength, it shows her that you could walk away at any time, but you decide to stay. That's real value. So let me ask you, are you living in need or in choice? Do you feel like you can't breathe without her? Or are you strong enough to stand tall on your own? Because when you replace need with choice, you stop being a man who clings, and you become a man she truly respects. 5. Stay unbothered in the face of her games. Have you ever felt like she was testing you? Maybe she ignored your calls even though you knew she saw them. Maybe she suddenly posted pictures with other guys just to see your reaction. Or maybe she gave you the silent treatment, hoping you'd break down and beg for her attention. In those moments, most men fall into the trap. They get jealous. They argue. They panic. They send long emotional texts trying to fix things. But what does that really do? It shows her she has control over your emotions. It proves she can pull your strings whenever she wants. Marcus Aurelius taught what he called the discipline of perception, the art of seeing things as they truly are, without exaggeration. He wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." And here's the truth. When she plays games, the power is not in reacting, it's in not reacting. Picture this scenario. She suddenly pulls away, taking hours to reply. The old you would double text, maybe even call her asking what's wrong. But this time you stay calm. You don't chase. You don't confront her with accusations. You continue with your life as if nothing happened. At first she might smirk, thinking you'll eventually break. But when you don't, when she realizes you're genuinely unbothered, that's when her games lose all power. Here's why. Games only work on people who play. And when you refuse to play, the game collapses. Now imagine how she feels when her tricks don't move you, when her silence doesn't shake you, when her attempts at jealousy don't rattle your confidence. Deep down, she begins to wonder, why doesn't he react? Does he not care? Has he grown stronger? Did I lose my influence over him? And that right there is what stings her the most. So ask yourself, are you reacting to her games or are you mastering your emotions? Because the moment you stop being disturbed by her tests, you stop being controlled by them. And the man who cannot be controlled is the man she can never forget. 6. Build yourself higher without her. Have you ever had someone walk away from you, convinced that you'd collapse without them? Maybe she thought you'd spend weeks crying, stuck in your room, scrolling through old pictures of her, replaying memories over and over again. She thought you'd lose yourself the moment she stepped out of your life. And maybe for a while you did. Maybe you lay awake at night staring at the ceiling, replaying her words. Maybe you lost motivation, skipped the gym, ignored your goals. Maybe your friends even told you, nah man, you're not the same anymore. But here's the thing, Marcus Aurelius believed that every obstacle is fuel for growth. He said, the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. So what if her leaving wasn't your end, but your beginning? Imagine this, instead of crumbling, you rise, you hit the gym, and she sees you months later looking stronger than ever. You focus on your career and suddenly you're making moves, building success she never believed you could. You surround yourself with better friends, people who uplift you, people who push you to be better. At first she won't believe it. She'll think it's temporary, just an act. But when she realizes you've truly built yourself higher without her, something inside her will sting. Because the truth she never expected is this: her absence didn't destroy you. It built you. And here's the beauty of it. You're not doing this to prove anything to her. You're doing it for yourself, to reclaim your power, to remind yourself that your story never depended on her. It always depended on you. So let me ask you, what are you building right now? Are you still stuck in the past, or are you using the pain as fuel to rise higher? Because the day she sees you thriving without her is the day she realizes she never had the power to break you in the first place. 7. Let go without bitterness. When someone hurts you, what's your first instinct? For many men, it's anger. You want to shout, expose her lies, maybe even get revenge. You want her to feel the pain she caused you. But let me tell you something. Revenge doesn't heal. Anger doesn't free you. It chains you to her even more. Because every time you think about how to get back at her, you're still giving her your energy. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The best revenge is not to be like your enemy." And that's the secret. The way to truly win is not through bitterness, it's through peace. Think about this. Imagine 2 breakups. In the first one, the man explodes, insults her, trashes her name to everyone, posts bitter quotes online. He thinks he's showing strength, but deep down he looks broken, consumed by hate. In the second breakup, the man says nothing. He doesn't curse her. He doesn't chase. He doesn't seek revenge. He simply moves on, calmly, quietly, with his dignity intact. Now tell me, who really has the power? Letting go without bitterness doesn't mean you weren't hurt. It means you've matured beyond the need to cling to pain. You've chosen peace over poison. And ironically, this is what unsettles her the most. Because she expects drama. She expects you to lash out, to beg, to cry, to fight. But when you give her none of that, when you let her walk away, and you carry no resentment, she begins to wonder, how can he let me go so easily? Was I not as important as I thought? Did he already outgrow me? That quiet strength is what cuts deeper than any angry words could. So let me ask you, are you holding on to bitterness right now? Are you replaying the pain, plotting revenge, or carrying anger like a weight on your chest? Or are you strong enough to release it, to let her go with calmness and self-respect? Because the truth is, when you let go without bitterness, you don't just free her, you free yourself. Show her she's replaceable. Have you ever treated someone like they were the only person in the world who could make you happy? Like without her, life would be empty. Love would never exist again, and you could never find someone else like her? Be honest, you probably did. Most of us have. We put her on a pedestal, made her feel like she was one of a kind, untouchable, irreplaceable. And at first she loved that attention, but slowly, she began to believe it. She thought, he'll never leave. He'll never find someone like me. He needs me more than I need him. And that's when the respect starts to fade. Marcus Aurelius reminded us of the truth of life. Do not act as if you were going to live 10,000 years. Death hangs over you. While you live, while it is in your power, be good. In other words, everything in this life is temporary. Nothing lasts forever, and no one, no matter how special they seem, is irreplaceable. Here's the shift. The moment you start treating her like she's not the only option, but one of many possibilities, you take back your power. Imagine this. Instead of sitting by the phone waiting for her, you're out with friends enjoying life. Instead of pouring all your energy into chasing her, you're meeting new people, building new connections, focusing on your growth. She sees you laughing, thriving, maybe even attracting attention from other women. And suddenly, that confidence shakes her world, because now, she realizes something she never expected. You're not afraid of losing her. You're not begging. You're not stuck. You understand that love is a choice, not a prison. And if she doesn't value you, someone else will. That realization that she's replaceable is what hurts her the most. Not because you're cruel, but because it forces her to see the truth. You're a man who doesn't need anyone to complete him. So let me ask you, are you still treating her like she's the only one who could ever love you? Or are you living like a man who knows his worth? A man who understands that his value is not tied to one woman? Because the moment you show her she's replaceable is the moment she realizes she's the one who could be replaced. 9. Refuse to chase closure. Have you ever sat there staring at the last text message, asking yourself, why did she leave? What did I do wrong? You go through every moment, every word, every smile, trying to find the missing piece that explains it all. You tell yourself, if only I could hear her side. If only I could get closure, then I'd finally move on. But here's the bitter truth. Chasing closure is like chasing smoke. The more you reach for it, the further it slips away. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." And what could be more of an outside event than another person's reasons? Excuses or explanations? You can't control why she left. You can't control what she felt. But you can control how long you let it haunt you. Think about it. Do you really need her to explain why she didn't value you? Or do you already know? If she ghosted you, disrespected you, betrayed you, or simply lost interest, her actions already gave you the closure you need. She showed you who she is. That's the answer right there. Let me tell you a story. A man once begged his ex for weeks to meet him for just one last talk. She finally agreed. He thought she'd give him peace, maybe admit she still loved him. But instead, she said something colder. "I just don't feel anything for you anymore." That moment didn't heal him. It broke him even more. He realized too late that chasing closure only deepened his wound. The Stoic path is different. It teaches you not to beg for answers, but to accept what is. To understand that closure doesn't come from her lips, it comes from your decision. The decision to stop waiting for explanations and to start living. When you refuse to chase closure, you send a silent but powerful message. I don't need you to validate my pain. I accept it, I learn from it, and I move forward stronger. So ask yourself, are you still waiting for her to give you peace? Or will you claim that peace for yourself right here, right now? Because the man who refuses to chase closure doesn't just heal, he rises. 10. Be truly happy without her. When was the last time you were truly happy on your own? Not because someone texted you back. Not because she smiled at you. Not because you felt wanted, but happy because you woke up, took a deep breath, and realized life itself is enough. You see, many men tie their happiness to a woman's presence. Her approval becomes their oxygen, her attention their sunlight. But Marcus Aurelius reminds us, very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself and your way of thinking. True happiness cannot and should not depend on someone who failed to value you. Think about it like this. Imagine you're holding a glass of water. If you grip it too tightly, your hand starts to ache. If you refuse to let it go, it weighs you down. But the moment you release it, your hand feels free. That's what it feels like when you stop clinging to a woman who doesn't see your worth. Happiness begins the instant you stop making her the center of your universe. Let me share a story. There was a man who, after his breakup, felt lost. His entire identity had revolved around her. He thought he'd never smile again. But then, slowly, he started rebuilding. He picked up old hobbies, reconnected with friends, traveled, read books he'd long ignored. And one day, as he sat watching the sunset, he realized something powerful. He was happy, without her, without anyone. His joy wasn't borrowed. It was his own. That's what Stoicism teaches. Happiness is not given, it's cultivated. It's in your control. It's in the way you choose to see your life, in the meaning you give to your struggles, in the growth you embrace. And here's the beautiful irony. The moment you are truly happy without her, you become the man she could never break. A man who radiates peace, strength, and self-sufficiency. A man who doesn't need love to feel alive, but who can still give love freely, without chains, without fear. So, let me ask you directly, are you ready to stop waiting for her to make you happy? Are you ready to discover joy that no one can take away from you? Because when you do, that's when you become untouchable. Final words. This is not about revenge. It's not about making her suffer. It's about embodying the Stoic principle of self-mastery, choosing how you respond, choosing how you live regardless of who values or devalues you. And here's the paradox. The more you live by these principles, the more others, women included, will begin to value you. So ask yourself, are you ready to stop giving away your power? Are you ready to embrace the wisdom Marcus Aurelius left us and become a man who cannot be shaken? With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.